know that my YouTube videos are used a lot in hairdressing schools, but also by salons that want students to learn cutting or styling or coloring. What am I going to do for you? I'm going to make a whole series with basic techniques. How do you really like a school year? The cutting, mastering, and coloring. So a series of these films will be on my YouTube channel. Well, here we have the first. What did I do? I cut a length line, a horizontal line. The names are different, but what's important is that each hair eventually ends on your horizontal single length line, and then so you're going to master this cutting technique. We can also call it a bob line, but of course we can create it in different lengths. In my next video, I'll show exactly step by step how you can make this one length line the most beautiful. Enjoy watching. Here are all examples of a one length line cut horizontally. The graphic drawing shows that when you project the hair upwards, the top length is the longest. When everything comes down and you cut it so that all hairs are the same length, this is what you need: 4 clamps, a comb, a cutting shears, and a water spray. Before I start, I washed and conditioned the hair well. This is also important for you when you're going to cut on your model or on your doll head. Then we are going to partition. First to the peak of the head, straight line down, and it will end just behind the ear. You secure this with your hair clip and then do exactly the same on the other side. So you go back to the highest point of the head, straight line down. Also secure this area already. I have already made a middle partition on top, so I have now divided 2 areas at the front. Then you go to the back. Also, they make a middle parting, comb away so you have nice clean sections, calm down, and then also secure your third level with a clamp. It is very important when you are cutting that you keep a good overview in your work. I'm fixing the 4th section here too. This way you can see 4-section partition, and from here I have a nice base to start cutting. We start cutting from the back. You detach one area and then make a straight horizontal partition that you can move down. You twist the rest of the hair up and secure it again so you have a nice clean workspace that keeps everything clear for you. On the other hand, it's exactly the same because we are going to match the 2 rear surfaces. You make the fireplace a bit damp. When it's dry, make a horizontal partition. It's about a partition of 1 inch or 2, 3 roughly. Project the rest of the hair back up and secure. I'm going to cut at an unknown height because that's the best way to cut the line straight. I also don't want tension on the hair because then you have spices. The head is straight, and where you are cutting, you are also standing. So you see me constantly moving my body. So where you are cutting, there you are too. Can control technique, so no tension with your fingers on it, and then at eye level.
You know it well. Then you know
Make sure you're going straight. In this way you continue. So you make another new partition.
Approximately 2-3 centimeters.
The rest of the hair you flip up.
And then
repeat the line
fair.
On top on your first line. Make sure you cut at eye level, bend down your knees. If you do this in the salon, you can also sit on a stool. Do that. I go up equally on both sides. So I can prevent myself from going crooked because if I am a bit longer or shorter on the left or right, I can easily make the correction. As soon as I've reached the hair on the side, then I go through it with my partitions. I consciously do this, that I am constantly cutting at the same height on the same line, because then you can correct and check yourself over and over. Not right at the end, because that would take you too much time. So as soon as I reach the back of the head, that the hair connects with the front, then I pull my partings through. But you will see the division is one straight line to the front. At the back, do the same. Cut on top of your other passes. Keep working at eye level. Don't put tension on the hair. Look, and now I'm working with a doll head. On the side, you can project the hair between your fingers. But then you have to push back the hair above the ear a bit, so you create some extra length there. Cream.
The hair.
Go away. On the other side too. Come
one.
down there. Look. When you have reached the front, you can start working with your fingers. Very light tension. Don't pull the hair and push the hair just above the eye. You create something of length because once it's dry, you know it's equal. You can check yourself in the meantime to see if you're doing well. Look, that's what I'm doing here. And if it turns out wrong, you can still make a correction. And so you continue also with your next pass. Make sure the partitions are the same on both sides. The constant keeps up with your work.
Upwards. The spur again.
For yourself, as I just indicated, to correct yourself and to make sure you're going straight.
Winning with the fear.
Sections that I have separated. Constantly come down in a straight part and cut away the rest of the hair.
So you get a nice, have a clean working hair.
The entire cutting technique keeps the head upright. Naturally, I want to cut the hair in a natural fall. I've already done the crumb part, so now I'm really getting to the back of the head with the hair, and so I can start using my fingers, because then I can put a slight tension on the hair. When it's completely finished, the dome with cuts, I'll check everything in a dry condition. Look, now I'm using my fingers, then I add a bit more tension to my PC. Don't pull too hard. But also constantly again, I spin my gold ear constantly. But if you're plucking a customer or a model, then you're going on your trick. Constantly around your customer, and that your eyes are at the right height.
So you're sure you're cutting on the right.
Because that's in a curved line, us. That is important. You don't want to make mistakes there. And as soon as your eyes are much higher than your cutting line, the chances of making mistakes are much greater. So bend down. I'm not going through my knees, but go sit on a square yourself. Every time I've gone all the way around with the cutting, I check myself. Look, here too, use a mirror when you're cutting. Make sure you're going up evenly on both sides. Then we go to the last passe. We cut it from the natural fall. The mad one has no natural fall. So I leave it in the middle part and make sure the hair is well naked. It naturally dries while you're cutting, so make the ends thoroughly moist so that everything is evenly wet and it maintains a nice cutting line. I can also hold the dividers between my fingers now. I no longer need the jug because I'm working with the top hair and it no longer affects the bottom line sitting out from the crown. Constantly and thoroughly check yourself. Always cut right on top of the line you just cut. So don't let it be longer, not shorter, really on top. When you start practicing this line, so you can, when you're on a spree, use this, cut the heap multiple times. I would start longer and then a little shorter each time so you get as much as possible. This model exercises on your target head. Of course, you can also do it on a model. First you cut it and then maybe a few centimeters shorter. Practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the easier you'll find it. When the whole body is in, you're going to check yourself. You don't want, when the plant leans a bit to the left or right, for any hairs to stick out. So I project all the hair to one side and check at the outer line, at the bottom line, if they still stick out hairily. I do it from left to right, but I also do it backwards. I can move the hair back and check myself if there are still some hairs sticking out.
If you did all of this correctly.
So you have your horizontal line, one length line, you have checked. Then I'm going to smoke it. I use ceramics, which is a reinforcement of plaster, to bring the hair nicely into shape. Spread it well, and then we're going to dry the hair with a scrub layer down, because that way you get a lot of shine on the hair. we still need to check her hair in the dry state. So drying the hair is very important because then you can exactly see what the natural fall of the hair is. I blow the wind from top to bottom, so I blow a scale layer down so I can get a nice shine on the hair. I use a nail brush as I want to get a bit of a natural fall in the hair. You can also choose to fune them with a round brush, but I just want a natural fall. I'm also going to go through it with my stepping pliers. So it's important that the hair is completely dry because finally we're going to check the hair again, especially at the crowns in the neck area to make sure no hair comes out. Now I'm naturally working on a crazy deer and it doesn't have crowns, but when you practice this with your model, then you'll really save it for last. The comb should have to look down to see if there are still hairs coming out from underneath. So this is the last thing you're going to do with your haircut model. So you let your model look down, you come down with hair, you check if no hairs are coming out underneath, and then your cake is ready. Want to keep following me? Subscribe for free to my channel and enjoy my informative videos.